In Kano State, home to over 15 million people, two parallel worlds exist side by side. You'll see girls in school uniforms walking confidently towards their futures, books in hand, dreams alive in their eyes. But just steps away, you'll see their peers, girls of the same age, carrying water buckets, tending to younger siblings, working in family shops. Education is a right, but it's not a reality for all. In northern Nigeria's most populous state, every girl deserves a seat in the classroom, but too many desks remain empty.
Bana jin daɗin yanayin yanda makarantar nan take. A da ana zuwa da yawa, amma yanzu ba a zuwa da yawa.
The question isn't just about getting girls enrolled, it's about keeping them there until they complete their education. This is the story of that challenge and the solution that's taking shape. Education is one of the most powerful tools for development. Yet, in northern Nigeria, cultural barriers, poverty, and underfunding continues to keep many girls out of school. Here in Kano State, while enrollment has increased in recent years, retention and completion rates remain stubbornly low. These statistics tell a stark story. Male literacy stands at 36.8%, while female literacy languishes at just 25.9%. These aren't just numbers, they represent millions of individual dreams deferred, potential unrealized, and futures constrained by circumstances that could be changed. Recent findings show that while enrollment has increased, the real challenges lies in retention and completion. Getting girls into school is only the first step. Keeping them there for the full 12 years of compulsory education is where the system too often fails. To understand these challenges, we traveled to Bebeji, a rural community where the gaps between education promises and realities become impossible to ignore.
Hakikanin gaskiya ina son na zama malama ne domin na taimaka wa ƙasata. Domin nan garin babu malamai mata, sai dai maza. Mazan ma a haka fama suke da mu ba ma zuwa domin wani dalili na daban.
Ina so na zama malama domin taimaka wa ƙasarmu. Ba ma samun kulawa sosai. Ba mu da malamai mata kuma muna buƙatar su.
Ina kira da gwamnati da ta ƙara adadin kasafin kuɗi. Domin muna neman taimakon da ta gyara mana banɗakuna da ajujuwa da kuma kujeru da kuma dai sauran makarantu haka ta daɗa gyara mana su domin ƙarin ilimi.
These girls dream of becoming teachers themselves, understanding intuitively that female role models would encourage other girls to stay in school, but their path to those dreams is scattered with barriers that inadequate financing creates and perpetuates.
Sai kuma abin da ya shafi ainihin karancin malamai. Muna da a lot of subjects, amma kuma malaman da muke koyarwa a nan wajen su mu uku ne kawai. Don haka kuma mu uku nan duka maza. A matsayinsu na 'ya'ya mata akwai buƙatar a ce akwai ma malamai mata wanda yake za su rinka guiding ɗinsu akan abin da ya shafi personal issue nasu. Wannan makaranta da muke koyarwa a cikinta makaranta ce ta aro. Ta 'yan primary ce muke sharing. Don haka sai sun zo sun yi daga morning zuwa afternoon mu kuma sannan mu ɗora. Sannan kuma a wannan guri hatta ban ɗaki ba mu da shi inda za su rinka zuwa to ease their self. Sai dai gidajen makota haka suke shiga. Su makotan ba sa jin daɗi, su ma kuma yaran ba sa jin daɗin haka.
The teacher's reality reveals how inadequate financing cascades through the system. 3 teachers from both primary and secondary levels, a new building that still can't accommodate all students, forcing secondary classes to start at 2 p.m. when primary ends. This isn't poor planning, it's the predictable result of budgets that don't reflect actual needs.
Muna fama da matsaloli musamman makaranta da za a ce iya mata ne zalla kwata-kwata a ƙaramar hukumar Bebeji guda 3 muke da su. Sannan kuma muna da karancin su kansu malaman. Idan muka zo muka ce kowace mun ware junior secondary school ta mata, mun ware junior secondary school ta maza, to za mu samu sai mu rasa ma malaman ba, saboda muna da fama da karancin malamai. Musamman muna da junior secondary school guda 28, muna da primary school guda 100 da kusan 40 da wani abu. To in muka hada za mu ga muna da makarantu guda 180 da wani abu. Saboda haka su kuma malaman da muke da su kwata-kwata da malamai da suke koyarwa da wadda ba sa koyarwa kwata-kwata guda 841. To kaga wannan karancin malamai yasa dole suke zama coexist, dole muke hada su zama coexist. To wannan shine kalubalen da muke fuskanta.
The Local Education Authority Secretary statistics reveal the architecture of the problem. 841 teachers, but fewer than 100 are women. Over 63,000 students with equal numbers of boys and girls enrolled, but vastly unequal chances of completion. Inadequate financing affects girls' ability to stay in school through overcrowded classrooms, unpaid teachers, poor facilities, and hidden costs that burden parents.
The only problem that we have with girls' child's education is sometimes funding. Their parents are not rich, therefore sometimes they cannot afford them, they cannot pay them their school fees and other things. But all the same, the association, like I said, they are trying to see that they help them in one way or the other.
Abin da zai sa ‘ya'ya matan nan a ƙara encouraging insu su gane cewa ilimin nan na mace yana da amfani, sai an daɗo mana malamai mata.
Da kuma taimakon enlightenment da muke samu daga wajen Islamic scholars namu da kuma shi kansa mu kanmu traditional rulers na gari, muna nuna musu mahimmancinsu cewar in the near future zai kasance 'yan garin su ne za su zo su yi mining ɗin asibitoci, su za su zo su yi mining ɗin su heading ɗin junior secondary school da kuma primary school nasu.
Idan ya mace tana da ilimi to ma'amala ta iya ko magana ce zaka ji maganarta tana da bambanci sosai da ta wadda ba ta da ilimi. To duk waɗannan abubuwan su ne suka ja ra'ayina na kawo yarana suke karatu a nan. Sannan kuma makarantar tana da tarbiyya, muna da malamai masu ƙwarewa. Duk wannan dai su ne abubuwan da suka jawo ra'ayina na kawo yarana suke makaranta a nan.
These perspectives from parents, students, and teachers link to the broader issues of budgeting, setting the stage for understanding why new approaches are desperately needed. Government stakeholders hold the key to bridging this gap. Their decisions determine whether girls remain in school. Let's examine the commitments they've made and their potential impacts on girls' education.
There are so many challenges the young child is facing in Kano State, which includes lack of support from their parents to go to school, which also includes lack of accessible schools in their locations, and so much more. And as the SSE to the governor, I've witnessed firsthand the governor's commitment in prioritizing girl child education. My appointment alone is a testament to His Excellency's commitment to girls' education. And we are doing programs, like a program we are doing with the Agile project, which is the conditional cash transfer. We are offering some token. About 20,000 is the list we give to girls, going to school so that we can retain them.
The creation of Special Assistant to the Governor on Girls' Education represents unprecedented political commitment. The Conditional Cash Transfer Program directly addresses the hidden cost that makes free education unaffordable for many families.
The great framework, I must say, is an advocate for girls' education, and it's a framework that's really going to help every person working in the sector of girls' education in the state.
During the swearing-in ceremony of His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kano State, Engineer Advocacy, based on the assessment, was able to make some pronouncements related to education. The first is he accorded priority to education. He said education is the first priority, second priority, and third priority. And in the year 2024, we translated that into reality by allocating 24% of the state budget to education. Then the following year, 2025, that is this year, the percentage was increased to 31%. The present administration, particularly His Excellency, has the political will and passion to enhance education, not only basic education. So in view of that, we are committed.
These government leaders are making key decisions that have potential to transform girls' education across Kano State. Their choices about policies, budgets, and implementation determine whether the challenges we witnessed in Bebeji persist or are systematically addressed.
Akwai Bridge Connect, akwai kuma wata kungiya kira Malala. Saboda haka su zo za su yi muku cikakken bayani abin da ya kawo su.
But how do community realities connect to government's decisions? How do the voices from Bebeji reach the offices of commissioners and budget directors? This is where the Bridging Access to Girls Education Project, BAGE, becomes crucial.
At Malala Fund, we are focused on a world where every girl can learn and lead. Under our 2025 to 2030 strategy, we are focused on ensuring that every girl is able to complete 12 years of secondary education, with a key focus on secondary education due to the rates of dropout between junior secondary school to senior secondary school. The implementation of the Child's Rights Act and the national guidelines on re-entry for pregnant and adolescent girls, as well as girls impacted by early marriage, to ensure that they're able to return back into education and complete their 12 years of education.
The BAGE project, supported by the Malala Fund, works as a bridge connecting the daily struggles we witnessed in communities like Bebeji to the policy decisions made in government offices. This isn't about imposing external solutions, but about amplifying local expertise and ensuring community voices reach decision makers.
My name is Sani Muhammad, and I founded Bridge Connect Africa Initiative. I founded Bridge Connect out of a deep conviction that girls deserve the same opportunities as boys to learn, to thrive, and to shape their futures. While serving in Kebbi State and having engaged with adolescent girls across communities in Kano, I saw firsthand how child marriage, gender-based violence, and other traditional harmful practices limited the potential of girls around me. These practices were often normalized in communities, sometimes justified by traditional norms, and left many girls with very little choices.
Sani Muhammad's journey from community advocate to Malala Fund education champion illustrates BAGE's approach, identifying local leaders who understand both grassroots realities and policy processes, then providing them with platforms and resources to drive systematic change.
Becoming a Malala Fund education champion has truly been a turning point and a transformative one for me in my journey. It has connected me with a global movement of education advocates pushing for gender equitable education and ensuring that girls have access to 12 years of free, compulsory, and quality education. It has provided us the resources, the visibility, and credibility we needed to take our work to the next level. And through this particular project we are running, which is the Bridging Access to Girls Education, our advocacy has become really very structured, more data-driven, and very impactful. We've been able to engage with policymakers, religious leaders in Kano to push for reforms that prioritizes girls' education, and ensuring that the government also prioritizes investment into girls' education.
Through advocacy and collaboration with education stakeholders in Kano, BAGE helps ensure policies and budgets reflects the realities of girls across the state. But advocacy needs tools, frameworks that translate community needs into policy solutions. This is where the Gender Responsive Education Budgeting Framework, GREB, becomes transformational. GREB ensures that policies and budgets reflect the unique needs of girls and boys in Kano State.
This is one special approach, actually. The first one ever that I believe is going to address gender-specific issues in education, particularly taking into cognizance those things that are not properly addressed in the traditional budgeting system. In the traditional budgeting system, they just make allocation, they identify things just holistically, what kind of number of classes we need, the number of toilets we need, and this. But this GRAPE policy is helping them to address this one. If we're able to succeed in this, the terrain of education in Kano will change. And this will also lead to a significant change in the education in northern Nigeria, which will also change the education in the whole country. I know data is there. Kano has the highest number of out-of-school children. What is the reason? Through GRAPE framework, you can now understand, you can have data.
Dr. Anas explains how GRAPE transforms budgeting from a technical exercise to a tool for change. Instead of allocating resources based on historical patterns, GRAPE requires evidence about what actually works for girls. The overcrowded classrooms in Bebeji, the lack of female teachers, the scheduling conflicts. GRAPE would make addressing these issues budgetary priorities, not afterthoughts.
While developing the framework, we experienced a significant level of support from key education stakeholders in Kano, like the Kano State Ministry of Education, Ministry of Budget and Planning, among many other agencies and ministries, as well as CSOs in Kano State. They did not only support in the co-creation processes, they supported greatly in overseeing the validation exercises that we had. We also had an informal adoption by these key stakeholders, and currently we are awaiting the formal and public adoption by the Kano State government. Adopting GRAPE is important for Kano State because it ensures education resources are allocated fairly to meet the real needs of girls.
Fatima's role in coordinating GRAPE development reveals something crucial. This framework emerged from unprecedented collaboration. Government officials, civil society organizations, community leaders, traditional authorities, and the girls themselves all contributed to shaping a tool that reflects both technical expertise and cultural sensitivity. The validation process wasn't just bureaucratic approval, it was community ownership, ensuring that GRAPE reflects local realities while meeting international standards for gender-responsive budgeting. Across Kano State, progress is happening. Schools are being built, girls are returning to classrooms, and government leaders are making new commitments to education. These gains are the result of deliberate advocacy, partnership, and stronger education financing.
Our role as SBMC is to mobilize community, particularly parents, to enroll their children into school. And another one of our objectives is to be a bridge between the community and school, or rather between the community and government. Besides that, even the government now, they are playing, or rather they are investing more in education, in girls' education. Recently, the state government has approved about 3 billion naira to rehabilitate 13 schools that were closed. All these 13 schools are girls' schools. So you can see government is seriously investing in girls' education. And we are even seeing the result of that investment. More girls are in school now.
Tijani Baraya's testimony represents something powerful: community leadership-driven change. The reopening of 13 boarding schools didn't happen by accident. It happened because school-based management committees like his advocated persistently, provided evidence of need, and hold government accountable for delivery.
Girl child education in Kano State is less than 0.3%. in the total budget of education in the state. And through our advocacies and also engagement with House of Assembly members, state actors and even non-state actors, as of 2025 budget now, the girl child education is around 9% out of the 31%. Through engagement of the CSOs, media, and partners like the Bridge Connect, now I'm happy to tell you that by September, when they are coming back to school, these 13 boarding schools for these young girls will be reopened.
Dr. Awal describes how civil society partnerships have turned advocacy into measurable results. New schools built, girls returning to classrooms, stronger government commitments. These aren't coincidental improvements, they are the outcomes of systematic advocacy that connects evidence to action, promises to delivery. The progress we're witnessing in communities like Nwobodo shows what's possible when gender-responsive principles guide investment decisions. Better facilities, more female teachers, functional toilets, manageable classroom sizes. These improvements happened because someone asked, "What do girls need to succeed?" and then allocated these resources to provide it. But isolated successes raise a fundamental question. If gender-responsive approaches can work in some communities, why not everywhere? The GREB framework provides the answer, a systematic approach to scaling what works. Every girl deserves a chance to learn, to dream, and to achieve. Girls' education isn't a project, it's a promise. We've seen what's possible when that promise is kept. In Nwobodo, we witnessed transformation. In government offices, we heard unprecedented commitment. In communities, we saw ownership and advocacy. The GREB framework provides the roadmap to scale these successes across every local government area in Kano State. Stronger data backs the need for GREB adoption. Remember the statistics from Bebeji: 841 teachers, fewer than 100 female, students getting only 2 hours of learning time because of inadequate facilities, girls missing school for lack of basic sanitation. These aren't inevitable conditions. They are policy choices that GREB can help change. When every budget line asks, "How does this serve girls?" When every policy decision considers, "Will this help them stay in school?" When every naira spent tracks, "Are we closing the gender gap?" That's when the progress we see in isolated communities becomes the reality for every girl in Kano State. The framework is ready. The partnerships are strong. The government's commitment is there. The community ownership is growing. The evidence of what works is clear. As Kano State formally adopts and implements the gender-responsive education budgeting framework, integrating it into its budgeting and resource allocation systems, the pathway toward a brighter future for every girl becomes clearer. A future where no girl is left behind.